ElementOne shareholders intend to convene in mid-January next year to consider the 2.3 billion rand takeover bid from a consortium backed by Remgro and Rand Merchant Bank. The deal includes institutional shareholders Allan Gray and Coronation Fund Managers. Caxton holds 20% of ElementOne. Joining us on the phone to discuss the bid is Managing Director of ElementOne, Daniel Flock. Daniel, thanks so much for your time. Is this really leaves ElementOne major shareholders, majority shareholders, with the ability to unlock value?
Yes, good evening, Bronwyn. Look, ElementOne has been trading on the OTC market for a number of years now. It was delisted in 2010, and since then we've been trading on the OTC market. And this gives our shareholders the opportunity, if the scheme is implemented in January, to receive for their ElementOne shares marketable securities in the form of listed CAT shares and cash. So we think it gives them the opportunity to exit the unlisted company and in exchange for that get marketable securities.
David, you want to come in here?
Daniel, I mean, fundamentally, this is Caxton. It has the same assets and the same productive assets as Caxton. It's just another form of holding. Is that correct?
Yes. Look, our only asset that we have that we were left with when the Vusa operating assets were hived off was this 40% interest in the listed Caxton. So we hold that interest. Roughly half is held through the pyramid structure. And then roughly half of our shareholding was directly in Caxton listed shares. So what you will receive for your interest in Caxton, which was held through the unlisted ElementOne, is then our Caxton consideration shares that you will be getting for that plus cash. So it's basically the same company. Its control doesn't change. There was just the introduction of Remgro and Rand Merchant Bank into the control structure, replacing us, and we would be exiting the unlisted structure if the scheme is implemented in January.
And then Kevin, just a final question from you.
Daniel, I can see why this would be attractive to ElementOne. Why do you think it's attractive to Remgro? In other words, how is Caxton doing as a business in the current environment?
Well, look, from my point of view, you know, I'm not qualified to speak on behalf of Remgro or Rand Merchant Bank. You know, in any questions regarding future strategy or why they're doing it, you must please ask them directly. You know, I'm a director of ElementOne, and I can only speak on behalf of ElementOne. But the investment that we've had in Caxton has always been it's a quality asset, and they are buying these shares. There is a slight discount if you look to the see-through value that we hold in Caxton shares, but the price that we be getting for it is at a premium to the price that the shares were traded. ElementOne shares were traded on the OTC market. So they're acquiring a quality asset, and it's a 40% block in a company controlled by Mr. Moorman through Modern Media.
Daniel, thanks so much for your time. Managing Director of ElementOne, Daniel Flock, on the line.